Took me a while to write out what I wanted to say for this one. It's tough because I'm not breaking down as much as I had been months prior or even a month prior, but I'm not happy, and that's hard to deal with. The entirety of last week I just felt unhappy generally. I had my moments. The majority of every day I would just be doing something or sitting there and having these thoughts about just feeling crappy. And out of the good parts of the week, especially building stronger relationships with people I've known for a good while, I started to feel pressure and overwhelmed, and I started to fall backwards, so to speak. If I was going forward on a ride being brave, talking with people who didn't know my ins and outs yet, making connections, being in voice chats, I was still feeling these little leaves of anxiety flying up with the wind, but it felt good to have the wind in my face, and I went forward. Then maybe Wednesday night and definitely by Thursday, I started to feel overwhelmed because not only were these changes happening, but I was really feeling the absence of close friends who, especially during the last 3 months of FMLA, I had grown to be comfortable with and have fun with and talk with, and it was nice. And in the past 2 weeks, they've been primarily absent. One of them who said they were going dark for a while, I see all the time now in a mutual server hanging with on Discord, hanging with other people who I have mixed feelings about, and it just hurt. And I would have to say that I'm dealing with the hurt a little better. I've come to be able to accept this situation, and I really haven't flipped out about it. I'm just sad, but I haven't cried about it. Thursday night I did cry because it was this social overwhelmingness with changes in both directions, as well as there was a lot of home stress, and just one thing happened after another. But I didn't cry as long as I generally do when I break down, so there are improvements there. I am rebounding a little faster, which is something I wanted to see progress in. But this noxious cloud of discontent is real rough, and I'm not where I wanted to be going back to work, which I'm also staring down. I return February 1st to a new full-time schedule with two new clients and returning to one that I've been with since I started at the company. It's a lot, but it always seems like a lot as the days and the weeks pass, and it's overall easier than a month ago when I started to regenerate some of my social energy on a consistent basis to keep that up, and I'm constantly productive and more functional than I was previously. But it's rough, it really is. I've lost the spark the past couple weeks of doing certain things that are routine and that I want to do, which also has been hard. My PHQ-9 score the past 3 weeks has been a steady at a 12, but man, do I want to see that score get lower and symptoms that are assessed on that score go down. There's the whole philosophy that wanting creates suffering, but wanting also creates motivation to get better and improve my life. It's like if you had a constant ache throughout your entire body all the time. It's how it is mentally for me. And I'm really grateful for the ability to be more even and to be as functional as I am, but again, it's rough. So I'm a lot more melancholy the past few days than I have been in a bit as well. My most recent treatment was last Friday and it was okay. I did an excellent job of letting go during the time, but I think I also tripped myself up when I listened to different music than I had been listening to that was working for me. I wanted to find some tracks to send to a friend, so I dug through some real old, I'm talking like 10-year-old tracks that I was really into at the time that still hold up as good music. And there was both comfort and discomfort looking back into my musical history, remembering where I was at the time when I had first discovered those tracks and how different life was then. It wasn't super great time in my life, but it was different, like a lifetime ago. And that's just a weird thing to go through, kind of, with music, too. I don't know. On top of all of those things, my mom, who is ALS and I live at home with to help take care of, is having a little bit of a harder time lately, and it's noticeable. I'm really worried when I go back to work how my dad, who still works, and my autistic sister, who's functional enough to help but not the greatest, are going to be able to handle it. They were able to before I was on FMLA, but it's a little different now and it worries me. The rest of the today, I need to push through this mental block and get a few more things done and try to relax in the evening. I've got one more week left of FMLA. One more week. Then more change. I'll still have treatments upcoming. Dan mentioned he'd write a note for work for 3 months and we'd see where we were at. So we'll go where we go from here a day at a time. Next treatment is Friday. This is Sim, signing off.